Welcome to Mindfully Integrative Podcast with your host, Dr. Damaris G. Mindfully Integrative is a podcast discussing ways toward mindfully incorporating integrative health into our lives. This podcast will have informative resources, fun topics, interviews, and discussions relatable for today with a true mindful perspective in a mind-body, holistic life approach.
So, hi, how are you? This is Damaris Maria Grossman, and we are Mindfully Integrative, and we're talking today kind of like about gut health, microbiome, and how it is helpful in the body and why is it even important. So, microscopically, we have good and bad bacteria. And in a collection of bacteria, there is actually a microbiome, which it is a collection of actually fungi, yeast, and viruses. And overall, it's a community that lives within the GI tract, which actually starts from your mouth all the way to your anus. And it's a microbiome collection that it's a community of, you hope to be living in a very symbiotic, beneficial use for our immune system and for our body. And we want that flora to be in balance of good and bad flora to help break down the good quality foods and break down all of the things that we digest and help us with our immune support and help us with inflammation, help us with infection, help us with, repair or anything additional. And when that is in balance and not modulated, we have a dysbiosis or an irregularity that our microbiome is really affected. So why is our microbiome so important? It's like our gut bacteria. It's in the entire body. It benefits our body, our brain, our immune system. Our gut is our second immune system, and it has an abundance amount of vitamins, digestion, helps with our balance, helps with our mood. You'll notice that most individuals that don't have a quality gut health or balanced diet or balanced microbiota or a dysbiosis or leaky gut within their body, they do have severe illness that has come up. Now, that doesn't mean all illnesses are in the gut. It just means that a good component of illness healing happens in the gut. Or helps facilitated within. So when the body is full of good bacteria, we flourish, we do well, and there's lower rates of obesity, diabetes. But when we have high rates of the poor bacteria or an imbalance or a breakage in the brush borders within the intestines or irregularity with the circulatory system and the metabolic health, you find that there's an abundance of bad bacteria and the microbiome is completely off. And when that happens, or even in the entire community between the either fungi, yeast, or viruses, and the bacteria, the microbiome, when all of that in some manner have some sort of imbalance, you'll notice that will alter our body's health system, and we will become less inclined to be doing well. So it is so paramount and so important for us to make sure that we're avoiding those foods and stressors and applying more positive, smart thinking and just get ourselves on the right track. Now, how do we do that each and every day? We feed our microbiome. We give it the nourishment that it deserves by placing in one aspect, we would call it phytonutrient or very colorful, beautiful foods within the body to help heal it, help it grow, give it pre and probiotics. And pre and probiotics are known to be more fibrous, give you more. The prebiotics gives you more of the fibrous foods, vegetables and such. And the probiotics are those that feed the body, feed the gut. Now, tips on maintaining that and how do you get there? Really just fibrous, rich foods, plant-based, mostly a little bit of good quality meats, less of the anti-inflammatory foods that I've spoken about in another podcast, modifying, think more veggies and some protein. And if you're a vegetarian, your proteins where you get greens, high quality vegetables or just any sort of vegetables if you can get into your diet, and really modifying the amount of processed foods, highly processed foods, highly added sugars, artificial sweeteners, all those things that like you may think of as being quick, the high sugary cereals, the donuts, the bagels, the nighttime high doses of carbs, plus, the pizzas that are, all the things that you might want as a quick, or the chips or what have you. Those things on a daily basis should be avoided. And you're going to be limiting that. And then if you have any sort of intolerance, everyone is different. For myself, I'm lactose. I have definitely a bread intolerance, and that becomes a problem, and I have an exposure like some metals and detergents. So for me, I have to, avoid those things. When you avoid some of those inflammatory processes, whether it's a toxic exposure outside or to the microbiome or an actual internal eating, you then lower the inflammation so that your bucket, like I talk about in your inflammatory bucket, is been lowered. And that's what you're benefiting. You try to lower that inflammation each and every day. Now, ways to get those probiotic foods. There's plenty of foods available for you. So if you ever have questions, reach out to me or my team, and we'll be glad to tell you. And then I also have plenty of resources, but ways and great foods for the microbiome, any sort of vegetables or fruits think about the rainbow. So red would be apples, cherries, then you'd have oranges. Oh, oranges, maybe squash. And then Y would be yellow squash, and lima beans, I think maybe that's yellow, or spaghetti squash. And then green would be any sort of cruciferous vegetables, avocado, peppers, broccoli. And then think eggplant, purple. So the more you make it a variety of that within your plate. I do a lot of soups and maybe veggie pastas to help bring in some more of that. And sometimes I will do a quality smoothie or protein shake to get my greens in there. So you have any quick questions or any things that you like to do, let us know what you like to put in your gut to get yourself back to balance. Make sure you find yourself a mindful way each and every day. And this is just a quick tip on getting your gut back in shape.
Thank you for listening to the Mindfully Integrative Show with Dr. Damaris Maria Grossman, family nurse practitioner. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not the substitute for professional medical advice, diagnose or treat. Always consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your healthcare routine. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you enjoyed our show, please support us by leaving a mindful review on Apple Podcast or your favorite streaming platform. Interested in being a guest or more information? Email us at info@mindfullyintegrative.com. For resources mentioned in the show, visit our website at www.mindfullyintegrative.com. You can also connect mindfully with Dr. Damaris on her social media links found on the site. May your strength and peace guide you to find a mindful way every day. Namaste.